We didn't vote for this, though, people. I sure as hell didn't. We voted for him to do better, to fix our economy. We voted for cheaper gas, cheaper food, cheaper insurance. We got none of that. None of that. As a matter of fact, it's higher. It's way higher. And what do we got to say to this idiot to get him to understand we're hurting out here?
Oh, but you voted for this. We didn't, Karen. Okay.
Listen, if you're gonna be stupid, you gotta be tough is a sentiment that everybody should live on. And hello, dumbass, welcome to retribution. Welcome to the reality that you voted for. Because no matter how many videos you make, how many whispers you do, yes, you absolutely voted for them when you voted for Donald Trump. We didn't vote for war. Donald Trump was not secretive about what he was going to do if he was reelected. He's not smart enough to be secretive. But unfortunately for the entire country and the entire world, his supporters are even less intelligent. So they will look at him, say something, and then immediately go, but he's probably not going to do that. Mind you, this woman is so stupid that she is looking at the repercussions of her voting for Donald Trump, and her takeaway is, 1, the same thing would be happening under Kamala Harris, moron, and 2, well, I'm actually never going to vote again. What? You caused the problem, and instead of trying to fix it, or hell, even admitting that you're the cause of it in the first place, you're basically gonna stomp away and not vote ever again. Actually, maybe you shouldn't vote. When former Trump supporters say they regret voting for him and are stupid, but all I hear is that they drew the line at $5 gas and not racism, rape, or pedophilia. And I'll do you one even sadder. It's not that they drew the line at $5 gas, they drew the line at personal effect. That's the thing to remember about Trump supporters, especially people who are now starting to be like, oh no, I regret voting for him. I'm a former Trump supporter. They were okay with terrible things happening to everybody else but them. They did not care about anything else and the horrifying things that Trump openly said he was planning to do because they genuinely believed that it wouldn't happen to them. Just like that white woman whose husband is an immigrant who proudly voted for Trump and then got on here and was crying for multiple videos because her husband got deported. Just like the farmers who voted for Trump, who are now coming on here saying that they're very, very close to bankruptcy because of the tariffs that Donald Trump has implemented. It's not that they regret voting for Trump, they just genuinely believe that all of the terrible things that they knew would happen wouldn't happen to them. And because of that, they were completely okay to watch their neighbors suffer.
I didn't vote for Kamala Harris. I voted for Trump.
If you voted for him, you were not a safe space. Now, let me sum up your video really quick because you went on a 9-minute justification tour trying to convince people to still like you after you telling the world that you voted for Trump.
After I say this, that you still like me. I hope you still like me.
I'm going to dive into it and tell you exactly why that's wrong. You voted for a man who was not only convicted of essaying a woman, but who also brags about essaying women. And me, as a survivor of SA, I would never feel comfortable going to a trauma center and working with trauma specialists as yourself, knowing that you supported a man who does that. You voted for a man who has decades of recorded racism in his past. You being a multiracial woman of color, what does that make you feel like? You voted for a man who's doing everything he can to make it so women don't have choices over their own bodies. And the one that you should be really concerned about is that you voted for a man who's trying to erase an entire community of people, a community that makes up less than 1% of the entire population, because you said,
owner of a trauma institute, mom of a non-binary kiddo.
Not even for your own child. I wonder when your child grows up to be an adult, if they realize that you voted against their own interest. And after all that, the comment section is never wrong, because nobody has to continue liking someone for voting to harm other people, because that's what your vote meant.
I voted conservative. The craziest thing has happened to me a few weeks ago, and I really feel the need to share it from the position of a very pissed off conservative Christian woman. I almost died. I almost died because I was denied medical care here in Iowa after being diagnosed with a fatal fetus. So my baby was not going to make it. There was no chance of it. We got multiple opinions. No chance. So I had a fetus in me that's poisoning me from the inside out. Where's the pro-life in that? Pro-life, like, choose me. Choose the mother. We're completely forgetting the mother in this situation. At no point should a dying fetus have more precedence in a healthcare system over a healthy mother who's contributing positively to society. Like, my God, please help us. This is not what we voted for, you guys. This is not it. Doctors should not be afraid to do it.
It's always, we didn't vote for this But this is exactly what you voted for. And I don't mean to say that to take a moral superiority path, but to let you know that your vote matters. Because it now has affected you, all of a sudden you're waking up. Maybe you see, maybe you realize, you're like, oh, what has happened? I didn't vote for this. Well, you did. And many other women have had to suffer the same exact path that you just went through because of your vote. We try explaining this to you guys. You guys write us off every single time. We try letting you know, hey, this is happening. You tell us it's fake news. It ain't fake news when it happens to you, huh? Do something about it. That's the problem, is I guarantee this has happened to you and you're not going to do a single damn thing about it. You're not going to change your views. You're not going to change your stances. You're not going to talk to your legislators. You're not going to do anything more than what we saw here.
Every election comes with consequences. But what happens when the people who supported a policy begin questioning the outcome? Some Trump supporters say they are frustrated, others say they do make the same choice again. So what's really happening? Let's watch more clips and we come back to look into the facts.
The jokes really do write themselves, because 3 days ago, did I not just say this in my video? Many Americans who voted for the talking orange believe that rules for thee and not for me is how things are going to play out, and it's just not. There are many Americans who are waking up to find out that their lives are going to be impacted by this. Many of them are effing around and finding out the hard way. And now look at the Republicans effing around and finding out.
I'm Hispanic and I vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump. Yes, Mr. Trump. We love you. We love you. On the way to the White House.
Beyond betrayed. They used us. They actually, during the campaign, and I don't want to make this political, but during the campaign, the elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that he was not going to touch the documented people.
So I admit, I regret my vote for Donald Trump. I regret it because I needed these changes sooner. I needed the prices to go down sooner so that I didn't drain out my bank accounts and go into crippling credit card debt.
All right, you shady motherfucker, listen up and listen good. I voted for you because of your no tax on overtime bill, amongst other things. But here's the deal. I just read your great big beautiful bill, and it's bullshit.
As easy as it would be for me to say that I wasn't thinking when I voted or that I don't watch the news, I had to ask myself the same question that hundreds of you are asking me, is why did I vote the way I did? I've spent the last few days reflecting, and I feel like I came through some sort of revelation.
You know why we voted for Donald Trump? Because the middle class man finally thought he was going to get ahead in life. You said no taxes on overtime. Big, bold, beautiful letters. We thought, hell yeah, why would we not vote for that? Then you turn around and pass the bill and it's a crock of shit. It's a tax credit for the people that make a certain amount of money. Of course, when you put it in big, bold, beautiful letters, it looks great. We're going to vote for you. And you knew what you were doing. You were baiting people in saying, no taxes on overtime. You didn't give no fucking details. Your details that we read.
All I can say, I was a dumbass, voted for Trump only because of my beliefs. People around me encouraged it. I can think for myself, yes. But I felt at the time that was the better choice. Now I'm looking at it with everything going on. It was the worst decision I ever made. I wanted not to vote.
If you voted for Trump because you thought he'd be good on the economy, I'm sorry to say you are one of the dumbest people who ever lived. Just straight up. Not very many of you follow this account, but if you happen to be one of those people, you are one of the dumbest people who ever lived. I say that because we got the tariffs today, the big ones. And to put it, you hear my kids in the background, to put it as sedately as possible, there is a non-trivial chance, a significant chance, that if these tariffs are implemented as stated, that they will crash the American economy and may well strangle the entire global economy. Some of you who think the past few years have been a recession, you may find that you will not simply be in a real recession, but in something like depression, something catastrophic.
Here's the reality. In democracy, every vote comes with expectation. Some Trump supporters say they are disappointed by rising grocery prices, housing costs, insurance bills, and other economic pressure that continue to affect everyday life. Others argue those challenges can be blamed on one administration alone, pointing to inflation, global supply chains, interest rates, and policies built over multiple years. The truth is, political decisions often have unintended consequences, and those consequences can affect people differently depending on where they live, what they do for work, and how they earn a living. That's why you will find some voters defending their choice, while others openly admit they are rethinking it. At the end of the day, accountability isn't just for politicians. Voters also have the opportunity to learn, reevaluate, and make different choices if they believe their expectations were not met. That's one of the strengths of democracy. So, what do you think? Should voters be judged for changing their minds, or should changing your mind be seen as part of a healthy democracy? Share your thoughts in the comments respectfully, and before you go, do well to like and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next.